So, what would happen if you took a bunch of Adderall and just sat around thinking? It's kind of an interesting question because Adderall is typically used to treat ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which I think I mildly have. At least that's why I'm prescribed Adderall. For me, sometimes focusing in class is basically impossible because my mind will just wander pretty much immediately within 10 seconds to other things. So it makes it, without Adderall, very difficult to pay attention. Same thing for like jobs. I worked at a bakery for a while, and I would just randomly like do things without even thinking or like realizing that I was doing them. I'd just go do something that I like wasn't really supposed to be doing, something unrelated, just kind of automatically because my mind would be wandering to other things. Anyone with ADHD can heavily relate. Some people without ADHD can kind of relate because I mean, with like the attention economy being the way it is, it's just like everyone is kind of like attentionally cooked, right? And the other interesting part of this is just sitting and thinking. It's a concept that a lot of people probably in like hyper enthusiast communities like NeoVim or keyboards or whatever have thought about. It's like there's so much media bombarding you. What if you just like isolate everything? Does that help you with your creativity? Does it help you get back like some of that non-influenced thought? So that's another thing, like avoiding music consumption, avoiding even audiobooks, any kind of stimulation, just sitting and doing nothing. Or like raw dogging was kind of a trend for a while where you'd just be on an airplane and for 8 hours just kind of do nothing. So I'm going to take 20 milligrams of immediate release Adderall. And for you heads out there, that's like not a ton, but I'm 5'6", I'm a little guy. And also, I haven't been taking Adderall recently because I'm working as a programmer now and I don't need it because I find that interesting. For people with severe ADHD, use it kind of through your day-to-day, or else like you're completely dysfunctional, you fall apart, like you can't do laundry or chores or anything. I have no problem with any of that. My problem is just with certain classes, whatever, certain activities where my mind wanders too much. So I think I just have a more mild form of it. But yeah, 20 milligrams. Immediate release kicks in pretty quickly and it lasts about 4 hours. It's also called short release Adderall. 20 milligrams of it is pretty strong for someone my size and with my metabolism, which is quite fast. Yeah, I'm gonna sit there and see what happens. What was the result of this? The first thing is I noticed when I'm on a stimulant, I'm much less likely to move around randomly. I kind of just like fidget and twitch normally, and you can see in this video, like I'm basically just breathing and sitting there and hardly moving at all. Unfortunately, my phone ran out of storage like 45 minutes into this recording, so I didn't get like the full move around, but later on in the video, like I do move a little bit to get out of the sun. But the result, thinking wise, I had profound revelations about different ideas I can do for startups, and I think I finally have a plan for my multi-million-dollar business to take off and go to the moon. No, I'm kidding. It was basically useless. I just thought about like stuff you normally think about. My mind just turned over like random YouTube videos I've seen recently and interactions with people and reminiscing about random things, just going in thought loops, thinking about useless inanimate objects all around me. Like I did think of a couple kind of interesting things, like the language types I've been on recently. Like I thought about making a web framework for that where like the whole website is all PDFs, but then I realized that was kind of a stupid idea because that's basically just like HTML documents and you can't really like have any user input in a PDF. But I don't know, I might experiment with it later. But for the most part, yeah, it was just kind of like not that useful. A lot of people say like you need to cut out all stimulation, everything, and just go back to thinking in order to come up with good ideas again. And there's definitely something to that, like if you're just bombarded with stuff all the time. But it's not like you immediately turn off that stuff and your thoughts are just like all these high quality billion-dollar life-changing ideas. You think about like the day-to-day stuff. I'm not here trying to like pretend that I had like a grand revelation from meditating for half a day. It's just like the normal stuff that you think about. And the Adderall's effect on this, honestly, I'm not sure it was that huge. What it did help me do was not like jump around in my thoughts as much. Like I stayed kind of focused on one thing for longer, but that thing still wasn't like that controlled. Like I'd think about like the handles on like the dresser over there for like 20 minutes, and like how they were designed and what the manufacturing process probably looked like, and at what stage in the setup did they like attach it to the dresser, and like are the factories located in the same place, or are they located in different places because of like the abundance of the natural resource facility nearby, and then did they like ship them together to assemble them? It's just like random thought chains like that that totally don't serve me at all. The thing is with taking stimulants also, it doesn't work entirely like people think they do. Like if you don't have ADHD, taking a stimulant honestly doesn't really help you focus. Like taking coffee, caffeine kind of will because of the energy. But yeah, the stimulants, they're really only effective for people whose thoughts like are racing. If you're a normal person, it kind of makes your thoughts race and you can feel productive because you're like jumping from thing to thing, but it kind of prevents deep work actually. Another thing about taking stimulants and just thinking is for me, they kind of like relax me a little bit, which is a common ADHD thing because like my mind is just racing all the time. And when it slows down, I just like get a little bit sleepy. I don't think it was just because of the lack of stimulation. That happens when I'm like programming too. So stimulants, they aren't like the silver bullet that beats every productivity issue. They're far from that. But my conclusion, right, is it's sometimes good to think. You can definitely come to great conclusions about stuff when you're thinking on your own. But also, sometimes thinking isn't the best. You're just thinking of like self-serving thoughts or just not very deep things if you're not like actively doing some work, if you're just thinking. So sometimes having an audiobook or something to fill the gap like music is actually a good thing overall for your brain. You don't want to be thinking of those things. It's kind of good to fill the gaps. But, I'm not like a qualified psychologist, scientist, brain scientist, or anything. I'm just like some random 20-year-old online. For anyone who's saying right now, like, oh my god, you just spent a whole day inside doing basically nothing, like go outside, make some friends. I want to point out that I made this video and you watched it. I made 0.003 cents on you, so who's really winning here? But it is a good point, like, doing these kinds of crazy isolationist things, or like having an insane NeoVim configuration, or running like huge distances on your own, something else I've done. It's like kind of atypical of normal people at this age, but who really cares, honestly? Like, I know some people who I really enjoy spending time with who are kind of in different fields, but they're similar to me in their like obsessively curious nature. You don't have to be like the status quo and go out and party and stuff. Like, all that stuff, it was interesting to me because like I had never experienced it. And then once you do get a taste of like all the normal stuff you do at this age, it's like, all right, I get the point. Like, I want to move on and try to explore more interesting things. So don't let anyone judge you for doing anything weird like this, but also don't put off the normal stuff too. If you've never gone to a party, never drank, never done anything like that, you should, like, before dismissing it fully, you should try all that normal stuff too. So just a disclaimer for any weirdos in the audience. I know I have an audience of you normally, but maybe this video will hit a different type of audience. I'm not sure. See you next time.